second bit of FriDate. And as promised, she is young. I don't know her age yet, which I'm very curious, by the way. She is bold. Her vocals are definitely bold. But then I'll let her introduce herself. All the way from Germany to Kenya.
Thank you for having me.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
I'm still in shock that you can actually tuzungumze Kiswahili kidogo.
Tunaweza. Mimi ni Daada. Natoka Ujerumani na Colombia, lakini nililelewa Arusha, Tanzania. Na mimi ni msanii, nafanya muziki, naimba. Yeah.
Una miaka mingapi?
Mimi ninayo 24.
24 miaka. Okay, so.
Yes.
Wow. How long have you been in Tanzania? How long have you been learning Swahili before we actually get to listen to your song, Kitty? We'll listen to it. Then, how long have you been in Tanzania?
So I was born in Germany, but I think 2 weeks after I was born, my parents went to Tanzania, and I grew up there ever since. And now I'm kind of based between Germany and Dar.
Right.
Going back and forth.
Talk about Kitty. What does it mean? Okay, I can really pick up, the whole women empowerment. First of all, I love Amapiano. I do love Amapiano. So why did you even, decide to incorporate Amapiano to it? Talk to me about how Kitty really came to be.
All right. So first of all, musically, I love Amapiano too. I love African music generally.
Oh, really?
And I've been wanting to make music here for a while. And so earlier this year, I was in Dar and I met a producer there called Daxo Chali, amazing guy. And we started listening to music together, and he was showing me kind of his work, and he does a lot of Amapiano. And we found a style of Amapiano that's, I would say, maybe a bit softer, maybe more Amapiano bongo. And I got really inspired and started writing on top of an Amapiano beat for the first time.
Right.
And it was super fun. And then the meaning of Kitty, so it comes from the chorus, which is Tupe Kitty Mezani, because the song is kind of like a letter. It's an ode to women in the form of a letter to men, asking them to really, give us more space in tables where there's not enough women yet in society.
For example, because I know you've traveled, having to speak, is it 4 languages?
Yeah, like 4.5.
Give or take. Okay, right now I boast to people that I speak English, Swahili, a little of Kisi, which is my, back home.
Tribal language.
And un peu de français, which obviously is rusted. But then you actually, speak about 4 languages fluently. Which particular tables do you feel like women are not truly involved in, really?
I think all sorts of tables, from politics to corporate positions in companies, to even in the music industry, in jobs like producing or even in the film industry. I think in all sorts of industries, leadership positions, I think need to have more women in them.
Which particular country do you feel like has, gone over and beyond to actually try to ensure that women are really on the forefront? Women, there's an equal number of seats for men and women.
I know that Africa is super, super good in terms of parliamentary numbers. Sometimes better than some countries like in Europe. I know Rwanda, for instance, was in headlines because they were at 60% at some point of female parliamentary seats. So that's amazing. And other than that, I think there's matriarchy also in Colombia, which is where my mother is from. There's a lot of matriarchy and strong female positions. But I feel like it needs to be formalized more.
Okay.
Yeah.
And which again reminds me, even in Kenya, you're really having some of these particular discussions to have 2/3 gender role, even in parliament, let alone even in other matters. But then, as singer, Sonic director, I don't know if we have that song, Kitty. You can have a little bit of it to just get your vocals. I promised them and told them you have amazing vocals. And right now they're like, we want to hear these vocals right now. Director.
Like my own version of it.
Would you do this version in Spanish? Can you do the same version for us now?
Now? Yeah. Danos una silla en la mesa. Silla en la mesa.
Right, and it sounds like a whole love, some love song right now. How is Kenya, by the way? I think this is is it your last day in your media tour?
It is. Yes, it is. Well, tomorrow technically.
How is Kenya?
I love Kenya.
Okay. There's something that I'm so used to, even foreigners being on this chair, and they're like, I love Kenya, but really?
I mean, so my brother was born here, which I'm very jealous of because he has this like extra cool thing that he can say that he's born in Kenya. I'm all boring, but and my parents were married here, and we lived in Arusha, so it was not too far away. We came now and again. So I don't know Nairobi that well, but I feel like it's so lively. There's so much happening. I like the energy.
I mean, so many people have written songs about Nairobi. If you were to write one, which kind of song will you write about Nairobi?
That's a good question. Ooh, I don't know.
You can formulate something right now.
Nairobi, the city of lights and city of energy. I don't know. I'll get back to you.
I love that. So definitely that means I'll look for your number and all that. Talk to me about music. Comparing music in Germany, from where your mom also comes from, in Colombia, and here. In Africa, in Arusha, here in Kenya.
Yeah.
How's the music?
I mean, all very different. So in Germany, for instance, techno is very big. I live in Berlin, where techno is huge, and so people like to dance, but it's a very different type of dance to Colombia or Africa here. It's more like static dancing.
Yeah, which I feel like is really rare in even in Kenya.
Yeah. And then in Colombia, obviously, there's so much rich music culture, from salsa to bachata to reggaeton, which is popping now for the last few years.
I'd really love now to come to Colombia.
Karibu sana. And yeah, so I think there's a lot of crossover between Colombia and here. Like Bongo Flava from Tanzania has origins in reggaeton as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's a lot of cross-pollination between those two markets.
Do you feel like it was really easy for you to even merge into the music in Tanzania? Getting from whatever you're feeling, you know, the whole vibe in Colombia, now bringing it in Tanzania?
Yeah, I feel like it definitely helped.
Okay.
Yeah. No, and I'm excited to kind of mash those two cultures up a bit more in the coming music that I'll be releasing.
So after Kenya, where are you going? I mean, you should really stick around.
I wish I could. I'll definitely be back very soon.
Okay.
But I'm off to Germany because I'm playing a festival soon. And then I'll probably be back later this summer, in a couple of weeks.
Later this summer. Okay, so now for people like us,
yes,
back there in Kisii, who we only know July is very cold. When you talk about summer, which particular months are you talking about?
Yeah, that's a good point. I should have specified. So I'm thinking I'll be back end of July.
End of July.
End of July, yeah.
End of July is month. After the whole cold.
After the cold.
Now when you're back, which artists will you be eyeing to maybe have a collab with in the country?
In Kenya?
In Kenya.
So I think there's a lot of female talent in Kenya that I'm really keen to discover more and maybe collaborate with. I recently discovered a couple of really amazing artists like Groovy Joe, a rapper.
Yeah.
Awesome woman. Bekita. Also love Karoon. I think those three are my favorites at the moment.
You mentioned Nikita, you remind me of also Nikita Kering.
Nikita.
Yeah, Nikita Kering. I'm pretty sure even your whole vibe and Nikita Kering's might really jam up well.
Thank you. I'm honored. That's a compliment.
So, what do we should we really be expecting from you, even moving forward?
So,
any interesting projects?
Yeah, in the immediate future, there's a next single that's coming out in July, 14th of July, and you can pre-save that already on my Instagram bio, Daada Music, Daada Music. So there's that, and that one has a similar vibe to Kitty, I would say. After that, I'll be releasing some more music.
Oh, okay.
Potentially adding some Spanish to my to my songs.
Purely Spanish or
no, mixing. I like to mix.
So Spanish here and Swahili here. That's mind blowing. I feel like it's.
I feel like it fits well together. Like you were saying, they kind of meld nicely
Yeah.
together. The two languages. They're both very melodic. Yeah, and after that, I'm starting to work on a slightly bigger project, an EP, but nothing confirmed yet. No dates or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much does your family really play in your music, industry?
A lot. I'm very close to my family. I mean, my brother, for instance, is part of the inspiration of my artist name because growing up we called each other Daada and Kaka. And so when I came to choosing my artist name, that nickname was the first thing that came to mind.
Because the first time I was like, what does Daada mean? Okay.
Yeah, it comes from Swahili. It's just that I added an A.
It's basically sister.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that meaning of sisterhood because that's something I'm really passionate about, supporting women. And also just adding to the family thing, my mom is also my number one fan, my dad as well, and they're always supporting me.
Is your mom here today?
She is indeed. She's my momager.
I mean, you could definitely take this particular chance to, be like, "Hi, mom. Thank you for."
Hola, mami. Yeah, no, I am super grateful for the support from my family.
Right. Because I'm pretty sure right now, even as you're going to come, back in summertime, that's, end of July, you'll really be gaining an attraction of fans here in Kenya. And people will be like, who's Daada? Who's Daada? So which of these particular things that people don't really, you feel like people should really know about you?
Um, I would say, that I'm super passionate about kind of melding cultures together because that's kind of in my blood. I love fusing different things, languages, sounds, and also I'm a big fan of sisterhood and of all my Daadas out there.
Do you have a sister, by the way?
I don't, and I think that's partly
Oh,
why
that's
I've always wanted a sister, and so I kind of see my sisters in so many girls out there.
right. What do you feel like people don't really know about you?
That's a good
Things
question.
that you know probably you do maybe around the house, maybe even in your music that you feel like people really should, but don't really know this about me.
Um, I'm a huge dog person. I love dogs.
Oh,
I'm a
okay.
massive dog fan. I have my two dogs at home, who whenever I go home, I spend lots of time with them. Um, I also like running. A runner.
Okay.
Um, and what else? I don't know. Putting me on the spot. I don't know what else is interesting about me.
Right now, for this, I think I'll now have to put the whole spotlight on you.
Okay.
I think about like maybe 3 minutes or so.
All right.
Some acapellas for you. You can, you know, mix from German to Swahili to English to Espanol.
Okay.
Take it away. Some acapellas that you really feel like. But I'm pretty sure you have a stock in your mind. You always write them and all that. So
All right. I'll give a little sneak peek of my upcoming song then. Maybe.
you ah
I'll give a sneak peek of my upcoming
okay
song.
okay
It's Swahili and English though.
okay.
So it goes like this. Nikiangalia anga, naliona tabasam, jua likizama, I feel you in my heart, sauti ya mawimbi, vile kama unani hug, naona uso wako nikiona jua. Upendo wako umeishi na mimi siku zote.
Is that for someone or
It is. It's about losing someone, parting with someone,
okay.
but knowing that you'll see them again,
Right.
whether it's because you're meant to be together or because whatever it may be.
Any other capella that you feel like we should be hearing?
Sure. So my song Tus Manos goes like this. In meinen Träumen bist du bei mir, schließ nur die Augen und ich verliere. In diesem Spiel rasen wir durch die Nacht. El tiempo se detendrá en un suspiro de los dos. La fascinación de esperar la puedo sentir en tu respiración.
Okay. This honestly one of those moments that I feel like you should, you know, really continue. I'm here just to. I feel like I'm in a concert somewhere in I don't know, Espanol there. You know, and I'm just watching you. How is it the difference between, you know, music video, you know, singing and actually on stage? Are you one of those, you know, people who get on stage and you're lively and all that? Or do you really get one of those, you know, butterflies? You're looking at hundreds of thousands of crowds, you know, people, and you're like, oh,
The good thing is I have very bad eyesight, which
oh, okay.
means when I go on stage I can't actually see the people very well, which is it helps because yeah, it makes me feel like I'm not in front of so many people.
But then you hear them, you know.
Yeah, you do. Of course I get butterflies, but it's good butterflies.
What's the most interesting experience in maybe in the stage for you?
So once I had so one of my first gigs was, as an upcoming artist, you obviously struggle to get gigs and you just take everything you can. And I once had a gig where I was playing like very acoustic music, but at 1 a.m. My time slot was 1 a.m. It was
Okay.
very bizarre. But no, it was fine. Yeah, it was just a strange situation, but
Which actually, the fact that you mentioned that, I'm seeing a particular comment here. Does the whole, you know, matters the timing? Because maybe you woke up from, you know, German to Arusha to Kenya the whole, time zones.
Yeah.
Do they really confuse you sometimes?
Not so much, luckily, because it's not such a massive difference. It's like 2 hours, which is fine. But Colombia is for maybe 1 or 2 days. Yeah.
All right. Let me take you last words right now.
All right.
You can take a look at this particular camera. Even as much as you speak, wise words, even coming from a 24-year-old, wise words about sisterhood, women empowerment in the country, and these are really talks that we always have here on Matters Women Empowerment, even in the music industry. By the way, before actually you tell me that, what's the most memorable moment as a female musician that you remember in your entire music industry that you always be like, wow, this happened?
It's a good question. What's really fresh in my mind was I had a rehearsal earlier today with 2 female musicians, and it's the first time that I've played in a band with just girls, and that was very inspiring to me, very special.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Now your last words.
My last words.
As we wrap it up.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for everyone who's listening, especially to my girls out there. And I would just say that to all my girls, just keep believing in yourself. And I know sometimes you need to have a hard shell as a woman, but stay soft inside. And yeah, stay strong.
Stay strong. Thank you very much. Remember your real name, apart from Daada.
My real name? Maike.
It's Maike.
It's Maike.
Maike?
Maike Valentina.
Maike Valentina. Yes. Valentina. Thank you very much, Maike Valentina.
Thank you so much for having me.
Definitely. We'll talk, as Kenyans say, tutonge nyuma ya tent. Thank you and asante sana for sticking around. This has been FriDate. And definitely on behalf of everyone, super director Pale, Nick Mavindi.